Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Hare Krishna Project podcast. This is episode number 128. A big thank you to everyone who tunes in on a regular basis, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. I appreciate you being with us. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to hit the subscribe button so you can be kept updated about future podcasts from the Hare Krishna Project. And also, if you're watching this on Facebook, please do like or follow the Hare Krishna Project Facebook page so you can be kept updated about future podcasts and video productions from the Hare Krishna Project. Okay, as you know, on this podcast, I like us to do a virtual tour of the world on a regular basis. I love having guests on this show from almost anywhere in the world, anywhere where it's possible for them to appear on the Hare Krishna Project podcast. And today, for the first time, I think it's for the first time ever, we're going to Ghana. Ghana. I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone in or from Ghana before, not that I can remember. So I'm absolutely delighted to welcome our guest this week. It's Smita Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, Prabhu.
Haribo, it's great to have you with us. Um, uh, Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so the first question is a nice, easy question. Actually, it's before I carry on, I must just tell the viewers at home, because Smita Krishna Prabhu's first language isn't English, I'm going to talk a bit slower than usual, so he can understand what I'm saying, and also other people who might not understand my English so well, because when I talk fast, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm going to try and talk slower than usual, so Smita Krishna Prabhu can understand what I'm saying. Okay, here is the first question, a nice, easy question. Smita Krishna Prabhu, please tell us a little bit about you and where you are from.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. First, I would like to start from my background. I was formerly known as Kwagenchi or Nana MP. I'm from Ashanti region in Ghana here, a place called Asante Efijuasi, Oyoko. And my father also is from Asante Bonri. Well, I'm a person who grew up, well, beginning I was with my mom in infant, somewhere from let's say 1 to 12 years, I was with my mom. And then on the way going, something happened. My mom was a married woman with some policeman. So I was thinking the policeman was biologically my father. So one day, actually, my mom was a businesswoman. She used to travel a lot. So she traveled, and a day I came back from school. My mom, house help, gave me some picture, which I saw myself in the picture on a man's lap. Yes, I was sitting on some man's lap. So she told me, this man is your biological father. So he says he will come and look for you and take you to where he is. To be honest, as I heard this, I was a little bit shocked and shocked. Yeah, let me use the word shocked. I was not understanding myself. So I went to my grandpa. That time we were living at Obuasi, a place, Obuasi, where they used to do gold mines. So I lived there to my village, my mom's hometown, to ask my grandpa this. And what was a shock was that as I reached my grandpa's place, he has already know what has happened. So he do some things. He took a mirror, put some things on top, and then he asked me to watch something. And I saw the picture, the person I saw in the picture, who they told me he's my father. So he asked me, yes, your father, he's in somewhere in a foreign country. And then he asked me, would you love to meet him? Would you love to go to him? I say, yes, I would love to go to him. So all of a sudden, something happened. The thing was working like magic. Before I realized, my mom also appeared there. She has come from traveling and then come to our hometown. So my mom and my grandpa was discussing. I leave them, go play. So at the next day in the morning at dawn, a person, some man came to knock our door, our main gate door. And then I was sleeping with my grandpa, so he asked me to go open the door. Then I opened, the man said he wanted to see my grandpa. So I took him to my grandpa. Then my grandpa asked me, are you ready? I said, yes. I did not ask him, ready for what? Or I just answered, yes. So he asked me to go take bath, and then I went to take my bath. After I finished that, I saw my mom was crying, but I came to understand that it's my father's place I'm going. So I was eager to go. So I went with the man to my father's place. So before the lady told me my father is somewhere in French, my grandpa also said he's in somewhere in a Ivorian country. But we went to border town of the Ivorian and Ghana, between Ivorian country and Ghana. So I went to see my father. He welcomed me nicely, showed me a room to stay. Actually, we arrived there at night, around 8 in the evening. So they serve us food, we eat, and then go to bed. So the next day, we discussed a lot. We talked about many things. He was trying to inquire from me about my mom and stuff. So from that, he took me to school. Well, in a way going, something was not quite cool. So I decided to follow him because financially, it was like, I saw like things was not all that cool. What he was doing was a one tap. He was tapping, he used to do palm wine. So I follow him, and I learned fast. Like when it comes to hand skills, things, do this, do that. Let me say I'm a very hard worker. If you are doing something and I'm interested to do, by standing afar, I can watch you, and by going home, I can do something. So I studied my father for about a week to 2 weeks. I came to know how he's doing everything in the bush there. And then I started to help him. I decided to stop school. So on a way going, somewhere about 3 to 4 months, something happened. Not knowing my mom was dead, and I did not know that. And I think my father knew that my mom has left body. So, but he did not tell me that.
Can I just ask, how old were you? What age were you when you first met your father?
At that time, I was at 11 years.
Okay.
11 to, let me say 11 to 12 years. So my father renounced his job for me. I was doing the job alone in the bush. The distance from house to the bush, well, it's not small distance. I used to wake up at dawn around 3 a.m. and walk with dogs. I walk with 3 dogs alone in the bush. When it's a day for me to fetch firewood, that day I will go with my sisters. I used to fetch firewood usually on Saturdays. That days, my father children, they don't go to school, so they will come and assist me to do that work, because fetching firewood to cook the alcohol is very tough work. So that day my sisters would join me. So normally I used to go alone. And then one day something happened in the bush there. I went to the bush to fetch the palm wine, and then I saw my mother on a tree. Okay, before that time I did not know who is called Lord Shiva at that time. I used to see 2 snakes. It's like playing together. They used to bind themselves, doing all sorts of games. Big snakes. I used to see them regularly. Mostly, I used to see those snakes. So one day, I saw Lord Shiva physically, but I did not know him in the bush. I met him. It's like we were passing by. He was going on his way. I was also going on my way. So we passed by. Then the form I saw was very, very different. I never see that form before. The form was like, his body was like ash color. It was something like, it's not powder. If it is powder, like it to be white, but this looked like, as if like blue, as if like, I cannot describe the color, his body complexion. And then I turned back, I saw snake on his head, his neck, his hands here, his leg, and I saw Rudra's beads also. And I also saw something like fox at the back of him, like something like smoke coming from his body. So I stood.
What age were you when you had this vision of
At that
Lord
time,
Shiva?
That time, as I was saying, like 12 years.
Okay, it's still the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, okay. I stayed with my father between 1 month to, let's say, 8 months. Let me say 1 year. I did not stay long with my father. So this was, I'm trying to tell you what really happened. I'm narrating my life story to you. So from that, next, like a week, after a week, I was going to tap the palm wine, and then I saw my mother half form like this, on a tree crying. I saw her crying. And the dogs that was working with me was barking a lot. After that, one died instantly. One mouth was coming with foam, they died instantly. So I was afraid to run away because I did not understand that. So something like fear jumped inside me, and I was running. Then as I was running, the river that I used to boil I used to put my pipe inside to boil the alcohol. That river is big river. We call it Achemfo. I saw a big snake with a golden crown jump and then go back into the river. So something like the explosion of the water that exploded, some touched the dogs. The 2 dogs also died instantly. So due to that cause, I was 100% afraid. And during that time, I was tapping about 200 palm trees. So the major palm trees was at the place where when you cross the river, like 150 is at the back of the river that I have to cross the river and go tap the alcohol. So out of fear, I couldn't cross the river anymore. From what I saw, out of fear, I couldn't cross the river. And what happened when I come home, I used to forget what I used to see in the bush. I don't tell my father about anything. And something was happening. That year, actually, it was a year for my father to blow money. That year, I was tapping like 50 palm tree and then rejected 150. But what was shocked was that I used to get all the 200 alcohol that if like I was supposed to tap all like that year, my father would get money a lot. But I was tapping only 50, rejecting the 150. So somebody passed back. You see, some people are in the bush, they used to steal alcohol to drink. So somebody passed back and then go see that the palm trees are spoiling. So my father was a gambler, a tough gambler. He used to do lottery. So somebody went to tell him, I tell you what happened? If you have get money, give us something to eat. Why you have pulled palm trees down and you are not tapping it, you are not working on it, they are all spoiling. So he came to the bush to see what is happening there. So the day he came to the bush, he passed by me, go cross-check all the palm trees. And then he saw that I have neglected some, about 150, and the rest, only the 50 I'm tapping. So he was very annoyed and very angry. So he tied my hands and then tied my legs and then cut cocoa tree. Actually, I saw that my father is tired. He beat me to the extent that he can't even throw his hand anymore. And his statement was, if I want to bring him down, I cannot bring him down because he is the son of God. And I cannot make him fall down financially. So he will kill me. So to be honest, he deal with me there in the bush. Nobody go, nobody come. And after that, he left me. He did not remove the roofs. So at the night, where I was sleeping, you see, I was on the shore of the river. So if I shake small, I'll go inside the river. And something also happened. There is some ants they used to kill. This ant, I don't know how they call them in English. They are very wicked, very dangerous ants. They used to kill. So I was sleeping in between these ants and then a snake. I was sleeping with a snake and ants. And then if I turn like this, I'll fall into water. If I turn like this, I will sleep on the snake. If I come this way also, I'll come inside the ants. They will kill me. But with Krishna mercy, nothing happened to me. I sleep in the bush. At dawn, some man came there. That time, I cried and tired. So something like this, only that is coming. So the man heard that noise. He said, who is that? And he threw his torchlight on me and he shouted, oh, who is that trying to kill you? Who doing this? So he untied me and then asked me who did this to me. And I said to him, it's my father. He asked me, what's the reason why? Actually, I could not tell him the real truth. And then he took me to his village. to treat my wounds. My body was a whole lot of blood. So he went to treat me. I stayed in his village for 3 days. And then after 3 days, he told me I will leave the village without people understanding. So you see, in the olden days, they used to do public toilets at the back of the village. When you pass the public toilet, then you are leaving the village. So the man came and leave me at where the public toilet, there was some road that we used to pass there, go to the bush. So he came to leave me there and told me, go. But as you are going, learn to forgive. Be very serviceable. And then the rest, God will take charge. So immediately I climbed down to the main road inside. I crashed a car. And not knowing, the car that I met was my mother's sister's husband. He was driving the car. He was a driver who used to take people from Kumasi to Inchi, the border town, to Ivory. So this man stopped the car and shouted, Pajo, are you the one? Then I get shocked because I was young and I did not know that that man is one of my mother's husband. So I was looking at him like something. Then he asked me to go bring my things from home because my family are looking for me seriously. Whilst the passengers was in the car, he asked them to be exercise patient with him. So as I was running to go bring my things, then he chased me to tell me to stop. He will buy me everything I will need on the road. So I also follow him because the experience I get with my father's side, I lost the way he beat me and the way he tortured me. I begin to lose trust and love for him. So I was following the man, whether he's going to kill me or whatever. I don't care. I was following him. Moreover, he mentioned my name. So it makes me feel he know me. And he mentioned my mother's name. So I came to have 100% faith in him that he will take me home. So I turned back and followed him. Then he moved the car. We go to Inchi to drop the passengers. We sleep there. And then we came back the next day in the morning at dawn. So we reached my hometown. My father also came the next day in the morning. And something happened. As I reached my hometown there, I came to know, yeah, my mother is dead for a couple of months. So they're about to bury her. So actually, I was not shocked because I was seeing some things in the bush, which I first see the sign. So I was not shocked for that. So the time my father arrived, the family sat down and then inquiry for him, what happened? People send message to my family people, he's maltreating me, I'm not going to school, then start. So it's like information has already gone home. So on the way going, they wanted to sue my father at court. And then I asked my family to leave him to go. Due to this cause, my family people told me in front of my father that if that is the cause, then nobody is no more going to take care of you. We are not going to give you any penny to go to school. You're feeding, you everything. We don't care anymore. At that time, my grandfather is sitting down quietly, not talking. So from that, based on what I said, it's like the case became a foolish case. My father ran away in the next day morning. Let me use that way. He ran away. We did not see him the next day anymore till now. So from that, my education becomes something. And moreover, I was not a person who know book. When we start from last, I'll be the first person in classroom. So it came to happen, I managed to complete the junior high, which I was not able to pass. Moreover, even if I was able to pass, no support. So I was with my grandpa. My grandpa was an imam. He used to do all sorts of things for people. So on the way going, I was learning from him his things that he was doing. Through that way, I was maintaining. He used to send me to go bring herbs. And then when people come for the herbs, they give him money. He'll give me the money to share for everybody in the house. That is how he was doing his work. Whatever money he received, he will share for everybody to enjoy some. So on this way, it came to happen like things are not more cool. Things are not quite cool. So I have to go look for jobs somewhere. So I went to be a houseboy in someone's house in Kumasi. I served the person about almost 7 years. From that, a chance opened. Some company accept me as a driver, and then they bring me to Accra here. I was distributing perfumes for the company. And from that company, I also get a job in the military. I was serving one of a military commander, Lieutenant Colonel Grau. I served that man also 3 years. And then from that, I became a taxi driver. The man died. And after the death of the man, I was not happy to stay in the balance there. So I came to be a taxi driver, driving taxi in the town. So on my taxi driving, I went to find a pass. Some white man take my car. He was drunk 100%. So I take him to his house. And then from that, as I came back to my car, I found a purse full of dollars. So I take the purse back, like trying to go give to him, and he was not responding to me. So I decided to send it home. The next day, I will send it. The next day I went, I did not see the man. The security people said I should give the purse to them. They will give to the man. I said no. So I was going up and down trying to see the man. I did not see the man. So I came to give the purse to someone, a guy who I was sleeping with. That time I was not able to rent. So I was perching with some guy, a friend of mine who know my family people in my village. So out of trust I have for him, I gave him the purse that he should keep this purse. For 3 days, if we do not see the man, then we will know what to do with the purse. And as I give the purse to the guy, he ran away with all the money. So from that, I was very, very frustrated. So I was walking on the street. Then I meet some man who know my mother, who has passed. So that man took me as his boy. And at that time, actually, my family, the job that we used to do, one of my mother's husband also was a contractor. Take big contract. So sometimes, if my grandpa is not doing anything or not having anything to do, I used to go stand with them, help them. Actually, my grandpa didn't want me to work with anybody that time. So I was spying them. When I go and spy them here and there. So due to that course, I came to learn construction work. I learned how to lay tiles, how to do binding work, carpentry work, mason work. I learned all this from one place. So this man took me like his site manager. He gave me a car to run everywhere I want to go. And then one day we took contract on this way, on this ESCOM road. So I was going to give cement to the workers and then supervise the work. So on the way going, I saw the temple. And the time my mom was alive, she used to visit some priest woman, which the priest woman was having some deities, which I begin to have interest that this place is the place where my mom was worshiping. So I parked the car and entered into the temple. I met a man called Srila Prabhu. And then that man welcomed me nicely and then showed me the rules and regulations in the movement. And then tell me I can come at any time and anytime I want to, I can come. So I started moving with the man small. He begins to teach me many things. So from that, I begin to have some interest that I realized that no, like the peace, yeah, I was seeing money at that time. In the job I was doing, I was seeing money, but I was not all that satisfied within myself. So from the time I meet the man, let's say for a couple of weeks, the experience I was having, I told myself, I think this place will be best for me. I must try to inquire more from them. So from that, the man showed me many things. And the time I was living with my father, we used to do fasting a lot. So the man told me, at this place, if I want to grow, I must know how to do fasting on my own, and then chant more rounds. So I took it on myself, and then I do fasting for, let's say, 1 month. And in this, I experienced many things after this fasting. From that, a time came to pass, I was even afraid to go outside based on things that I was seeing. And then one thing I was also experiencing was that people used to visit me and then come to take medicine. And what makes me more attached was that whatever medicine I give to them, I see signs. They used to heal within a short period. So the thing make me become more interested to do it more and more. So in this way, I renounced my job. I leave my job and then try to study more. So I came to rent a room in this town. So after I stay for 1 year, and then I cross a woman. So we marry, stay, we give birth for one girl. Then something happened. That time I was an Harinam devotee. I used to go to Sankirtan. So people was telling me a lot of things. If you travel, your wife used to do this, she used to do that. And I was shocked to hear all those things because the beginning of our relationship, her parents, her mother, her father came to me that, no, gentlemen, it's like you have something. Our daughter used not to stay home, even for a single day. We don't see her. She come like some months later before she will come. But you came across her, she have stayed for 1 year in this town, which is a big time surprise to us. So they give me foodstuffs, rice, many things, and money, and then thank me that I should look after their daughter well for them. So as a time came to pass that I was hearing many things from my woman, she is doing this, she is doing that, I became shocked. So my family house, there is something there. If a woman is not sincere and try to do so many things, It can affect me. So I called the woman and asked her, what is your mindset? What is your motive? Are you living with me as a husband and wife or just dating? Answer me. She couldn't give me an answer. So I give her like a month to study her well. And in all this, I couldn't see anything reasonable. So I got annoyed and then asked her to leave. I want to be alone. So I asked her to leave. After she left, I stayed for 8 years. No woman. From that, I crossed some white woman also. I was here. Actually, uh, I became, Srivas Maharaj asked me to take initiation because he wanted me to be his disciple. And before then, I was serving him. So he asked me, I have to be initiated. Am I ready? I told him, well, I'm not 100% ready because that time, based on the experience I passed through and so many things, overthinking, I used to smoke, sincerely. I was smoking. So I told him, I'm not ready. Then he told me, no, you are ready. You have to be initiated. So to be honest, he helped me and then guide me through this, and then give me initiation. So after my initiation, on the way going, this white woman also came in that she loved me. Some women were convincing me, you don't have anybody, so you have to accept her. So I came to understand, I coped to it because actually my life is full miserables. I will use the word miserable because I have passed through many things, which is very painful. So I came to accept the woman. And on the way going, you see, in this Ghana here, if I'm not afraid to say this, it's like something is being set in the environment in which it's like I see the thing to be like I have fallen to a victim. It's not easy. It's not easy here to be a devotee here in the midst of devotees here. To be honest with Krishna, it's not easy. So
Do you mean it's not easy to be a devotee in Ghana, or do you mean it's not easy to be a devotee in ISKCON Ghana?
yeah,
The second one.
what I mean is that in our sector here, in our Shishirada Govinda temple here in Accra here, I have been in other yatras. I've gone to Kumasi to serve. I've gone to Sumbani to serve. Takoradi. I was once sent to Winneba. Someone give us a temple there to establish beginners training center. I went there as a first person. It was very marvelous, that place. But even that place also, people here was giving information to some people to set me up here. I experienced many things. And I left, come back to Accra Yatra. And in Accra Yatra here, one thing that I experienced, if one doesn't know how to tolerate nonsense, then you will fall into a great victim, a great trap. Unless one knows how to tolerate nonsense, unless one knows how to be very serviceable. Actually, if I'm not afraid to say this, some people used to tell me, they used to call me, uh, they used to say some names like service guru, meaning unless they did not instruct, I will do. Whatever anybody will say, I will do. So people used to see me like an ignorant person. Yeah, let me put that word. Like I appear to be like ignorant, who doesn't know anything. And of course, I don't know anything. I rest on the shoulder of Shishirada Govinda. So, like that. So, this white woman came in. I saw many things. Many women was approaching her. This boy is not correct. And other stuffs. I was seeing some. I was hearing some. And the woman herself also was telling me some, because the beginning, it was like, I saw the thing like there is love. So anything that she will hear, she will tell me. And yeah, finally everything end up that I have to leave her, because the way she was treating me, she teamed up with my ex-woman and other women around, trapping me from different angles. And I saw the thing to be dangerous for my life, in which it's like they want me to go mad. So I told myself, no, not this way. I have to lose my life. I have to stand as a man. As far as I have my conscience, I must use my conscience to find a place to stand. So you see, what was used to happen is that at night, I saw something like the white lady was afraid of me. So at night, she asked me to go out. She would kick me out from the room to sleep outside. Several times. I'll be sleeping outside at night. So I sit down and told myself, no, I have to find a room. If not, if this keeps on going on, my life can be miserable. So I went to see a man whom I met before in some estate, some company, some construction company. So this man helped me out, give me some uncompleted building to sleep inside. So I was perching there like that. A woman who says she loved me, we went to a man's place to seek for help. Some man called Jiva Goswami. He was one of our great pioneers, devotees. So we went to him to seek for help, because I'm a jobless. I don't have anything in life. So I wanted to seek job from this man. So we went to this man's house, and then we went to meet some Rasta man, whom my woman took her number. And then sometime she quarreled with me. Actually, I don't like distractions. So I left the house. And as I left, I saw my woman and this Rasta man in the village we went to stay. And she brought the man to the room we were living. So from there, I began to tell myself, no, this woman is not normal. The action she's exhibiting is not quite cool. I must be careful with my life. That was where I stand strong. And moreover, the dreams that I was having was very dangerous dreams. So I stand strong on this and then leave her, go to stay in the uncompleted building. At that time, my guru was not around. He has traveled to India. So the time he came, he called me, where am I? And I told him I'm at some place. So he asked me to come. So I came back and then begged him for my negligences, my mistakes. Because beginning, he asked me, he wanted to check my horoscope to know whether me and the woman match or not. But it's unfortunate, I don't know my date of birth. And due to that cause, I couldn't give him the details that he needs. So he also acted diplomatically, step aside of the issue to see what I would do. And out of whimsically, I follow the white lady and I go end up with miserable condition. I experienced many things. So I left her. And then the guru asked me to come. So I came, we were living nicely, everything is good. Like that. So now I'm in the temple. Now, even one of the ashrams in the temple.
So you live at the temple now?
Yes.
You have
From my
your
room
own.
to the temple,
Okay.
It's like 5 minutes walking. I'll reach the temple.
Tell us a little bit about your guru. You've mentioned your guru a few times.
Yeah.
If you could maybe tell us his name and what your relationship is like with him.
Yeah. Actually, what I can say about my guru, little bit I can say is that he's very humble and a sincere person. If I could remember properly, the time I was living outside, my early beginning, that time the austerities I was doing was tough. And when he see me, he used to pay obeisances, dandavat. And I used to become shocked. I don't used to understand that action the man used to do, because I asked myself, who am I? A man who used to preach in the midst of great personalities, paying obeisances, dandavat. I was not understanding him. Moreover, on a way going, he called me, sit down with me. You have to take initiation. You have to be initiated, because your activities and things that you do, you have to be initiated. And sincerely, he gave me initiation, which I was not, actually, I never thought that I can be initiated in ISKCON Ghana here, because the experience here is that if your mother or your relative is not in the movement, you are like a slave. Everybody can instruct you to do anything they want you to do, just like that. So he has helped me a lot. He's a very great personality, which I've respected him a lot.
So one of the things you told me before today was that you were a Harinam Sankirtan devotee for many years and a
Yeah.
book distributor. What tell us a bit about that? What inspired you to be so enthusiastic about Sankirtan and book distribution? Why did you get involved with those activities?
Okay. The time I started the movement, the man who welcomed me for my first time came to die. And then another man came in called Ahimsa Prabhu. He also accepted me as like his son, guiding me. So he told me the qualities you have to be a Sankirtan devotee. It will help you. So I agreed with him, because that time I renounced my job, not doing anything. So he told me, join this party to help you, and moreover, you get something small to maintain your life. So I agreed with him and then joined the party. And when I joined the party, what I saw was that it was like, I saw like my co-devotees, my fellow brothers who I met them in the group, in the team, they were studying my moves, my steps, how I used to convince people, how I used to grab people's attention to distribute for them. Like I studied this from them, that like they are monitoring my steps well. And I came to realize that my way of doing things, they were also doing like that, even including the driver who was driving us. He also came to be starting distributing, because what I saw was that it's like they evaluate me to be like someone who doesn't know anything. And due to that cause, I saw the thing to be that they accept themselves to see like a person who doesn't even know anything is is doing great. So they have to study the way I'm doing and also cope to that. And so I realized that the time I was not in the party, it's like it was dull. But the time I joined, it becomes Shakti, it becomes strong. And then things was going on. Yeah, things was going on.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And the other thing you told me before today is that as part of your seva within ISKCON, you have traveled to many towns and villages around Ghana. Must have been a wonderful experience. Can you share with us some stories about your travels around Ghana as a Harinam devotee?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm a person who appeared to be like an idiot. Let me use that word. But through Harinam, I met great personalities. People who I never expect or I never thought in my life I'll meet. Through Harinam, I have many kings, many queens, many business personals. Through Harinam, even married people used to take my advice to settle back. It was a very great experience to me. I quite remember I went to my family, my village, to preach about Krishna consciousness. And one day after my preaching, I go home because based on the experience I had from my family people, I remember sometime they were quarreling about my mother properties. And actually, that was the real reason why I decided to leave home, because I realized that I have no stand. In my family, they have many things that like they can maintain me, they can help me, they can support me, but they neglected me. Let me use that word. Yes. So it's like every Saturday they used to do rehearsals. I'll be step aside, not be watching them here and there. And then after all this, I went to preach in the village. One of my uncle, after preaching, I go home to greet my family people, and my uncles use some words. He says, the person that we neglected and dejected has become a great personality. And for so doing, I want to know your secret. Tell me your secret. I want to follow you. Because the words that are coming from your mouth tells me that you have seen God. This is the word my uncle was using to me. It tells him that I have seen God. And due to that cause, he wants to follow my path. So that day, we all cried together. He cried, I also cry. After that, I give him books and they show him, teach him how to chant, and they left him. From that day, whatever will happen, they used to call me and tell me this and this, that and that. To be honest, Krishna is a working God. Yeah, Krishna is a great personality.
You know, I'm actually feeling quite emotional hearing your story because it it sounds like, well, it doesn't just sound like, it's obvious that you have been through so much in your life. You know, you lost your mother when you were 11 or 12 years old. you were beaten by your father, your family neglected you. But despite all of that, you remained strong in your personality. You kept going and going and going. And I really admire that in you, because other people wouldn't have kept going. Other people would have given up. Other people would have fallen at the first hurdle. And you probably have fallen at many hurdles in life. You've struggled a lot in life, but you keep getting up. And I love the fact that you've discovered Krishna consciousness, and I think you can see that it's a philosophy that provides so many answers. It makes us feel warm. It's a very warm philosophy. It gives a sense of belonging to something bigger. And you're still smiling. And you're so humble. And in all of our conversations before today, you've been so incredibly humble. There's no false ego. There's no, bitterness. And my next question kind of links to that, because you've gone through so much as a child and a young man. How has your childhood shaped you now as a man?
Come again with your question, please. How was my childhood?
Your experiences as a child. How has this changed you? You are now a man. How have your experiences helped you to develop your character? Have you become stronger? Have you become weaker? Have you become critical and what's the other word? Skeptical of people? How do you feel now as a man after your childhood experiences?
Thank you very much. Actually, my life, I depend on Krishna, because I realize I have nobody in life to support me. Whether I will eat or I will drink, it's Krishna. So there was a test in the Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, test somewhere 16 or 15. If one wants to be well linked with God or Krishna, it comes with service. And if one is ready to execute this service sincerely, the rest is in the hands of Krishna. Yeah, I think Bhagavatam Canto says 1 from 15 going, it speaks about this fact. If one wants to be very Shakti, if one wants to be very powerful, if one wants to be well linked with Krishna, then he must follow that path sincerely. Then the rest you leave to Krishna. So my secret was, when it's come to austerity, let's see, fasting, sleeping in the bush, I have done a lot. And this has helped me a lot. Even now, I'm not doing anymore, but I know what I'm gaining inside. Yeah.
When you think about your childhood, do you feel angry?
No, please. No. It's past.
You've let go. You've let
Yeah.
go.
The man told me something. Learn to forgive.
Hmm.
This word helped me a lot. I went to lay some tiles to one of our great personalities here. And at the end, he did not pay me and also told me, my sons are much better than you. You are good for nothing. I asked myself, what happened? Is it that I did not lay the tiles well or what? But if anybody comes to see the work I did, very professional work, everything was nice. But this man said this word to me, which I did not understand him. Today, he did not pay me my money. I let it go. I don't think about it. I went to a place to do construction work for about 7 to 8 months. That time, I was having problem with my bank account because if I put money there, I cannot take for a period of time. So I have to send the money to somebody because I plan that if I'm come to use the money to do something. And the probation of the time I will remove money from my bank has not reached based on the time I'm expecting to do what I want to do. So I was pushing all money that I was getting to some man. I don't want to mention his name. And you see, every week I'll be sending him like, it's not like 500 Ghana cedis. I'll ask him to take 50 cedis, give 50 cedis also to my daughter to be going to school every week. People that know me used to send me money because I used to do, you see, I learned some small things from my grandpa, which I used to do to maintain my life. And due to this cause, I know many people. So people used to send me money, sometimes 2,000, sometimes 3,000, sometimes 1,000 Ghana, 500 Ghana, to the smallest size. I'll be sending all this money to this man. Let's say fundamentally, all this money was about 17,000 to 18,000 Ghana cedis. I came back, reason why people was planning to kill me because I was about to take an award in the company because I was working alone in the company. The work I was doing was a very tough work because something chamber. We were building hospital and then the chambers for the hospital was big and goes down about 30 feet down. So I was the only person doing that work because my co-workers was not able to work with me because they were always warning me, slow down your work, slow down your work. But I'm a nature, I work with time. So this slow down your work, it's like they wanted to stabilize my energy, which I was not agreeing with them. So they pushed me to some place thinking that I will leave the job and go. And I spent 3 months to do 170 pieces chamber, which the company manager was surprised. So they came to write it on a notice board that there is award coming. So some of the workers go to hear in the office that the car, my name is on top of the car. So as I was leaving from Accra here to the place where the working is in Kumasi, I moved with some guy. And this guy also go to team up with the group there, the people there, because he was lazy. He don't like, you see, their mindset is they want to slow their work so that every day they work and get money. Was 1.5 years that government gave to the company. And they want to use, they told me they want to use 3 years to do the work, which is wickedness. You are a citizen on the in the town, and government is doing something for you. You want to, they want to suck the blood of the government. Like they don't want the good fortune of the government. They want the government to push money there, and then work is not going on. So I decided to remove myself from inside that plan. And due to that cause, they pushed me to go work in a chamber, which was a very tough work because the company was seized down for 6 years. They start the work and they stopped them for 6 years. After 6 years, new government came and signed for the company to start again. So all these chambers was choked with sand and water. It was not small tax for me. The Krishna Mercy, I was able to do 170 pieces chambers, which was surprise to the company manager and other staff or senior members in the companies, because they know what goes on in other places. The company is all over Ghana. So in other places, this particular chamber work was taking a lot of time because it's a very hard work. And me alone was doing this work. So they were shocked. So as they called for the award, me did not hear that award was coming, but the other fellows has heard this, which I did not know. So one day, you see, the hotel we were sleeping, I was the one who used to fetch water for the supervisors and the engineers at the top there. So they like my matter. Well. So one Saturday, I wake up and read the environment, the compound. After reading, I was not feeling well. So I decided to go buy medicine and then buy my things to come and cook. I have my things to cook. Whenever I go to work, I carry my pot, my things to go. So as I go buy my medicine, my foodstuffs coming, the hotel was at the top of mountain. So if people are in the hotel speaking loudly, if you are down on the road, you hear everything they are saying. So as I was climbing, I heard people calling my name, saying different things. We should kill him. This guy will disgrace us. We should kill him. If not, you see, the company is group. Each group have their supervisor. Each group have their engineer that's controlling them. But I was alone, which I was not having any supervisor, no engineer guiding me, or I was doing my thing alone in the company. So they were planning to kill me. So as I reached, I opened the main gate, I entered, people were running away to the extent that some of them are going to hit pillar. There is pillar standing in the hotel. Some of them are going to hit the pillar. So I told myself, these people don't have knowledge of what they are saying. So what came into my mind is that they cannot kill me, because as they saw me, that day was Saturday. Actually, the company, every Saturday, the whole workers will go to club. I'm the only person and one guy that we don't go some. So that day, the guys were doing washing. After the washing, they are going to club. The company sponsored that every Saturday and Sunday. So that day, all the supervisors and the engineers, they have all gone out. In which, if they were bold of what they were saying, like that day was my last day. Like they would have grabbed me and finished me there and throw me somewhere. But immediately they saw my face, they were running to the extent that some of them are going to crash pillar. So I told myself, these people are not in knowledge, they cannot do anything to me. So I remain aloof, staying. So the next day, which was Sunday, something happened in the evening. The guy I went from Accra here to the place, Master there, go drunk and came to fight with one of the site manager's brother in the house. So I was the person there witnessed this fight. So the next day in the Monday, they call us in the office. After that, after I say what I saw finish, then I also told the others that this is what they are planning about me. So they should sit down with it and see how to settle it. If not, I will leave. So they told me they will call the people and settle the thing. 3 days after, nothing was going on. I went to the office and asked them. And if I move around the site, I used to see some signs that these guys are manipulating. They are planning. So I keep on pushing ahead to the authority. They were not doing anything. So one day I go to the office and told them I'm leaving. They should give me my money for the week. I'm leaving. They do everything that I should stay. I say, no, I won't stay because I came with this issue. You people did not call anything, nobody, and still remaining aloof. So I cannot risk my life. So I have to leave because the signs I'm seeing tells me they can do me bad. And I'm in nature, I walk alone. So I want to leave. So they should give me my money. So that day I fought with them to the extent they asked me to mention these people's name. So I called the name to them. They called these people, and these guys came. They were trying to deny. So I told them, as they are trying to deny, I will leave, but at the end, the result will come. So I asked them to give me my money and come. So I take my money and leave the company. As I came back, the man who I was sending the money, all this money to, about 17 to 18,000, he chopped all the money. No single penny is there for me to maintain life. Only the money I take that day from the office back to Accra was the only money was with me. But upon all this, I neglected. I see the man, I salute him. I pay obeisances to him. I go my way. The rest is in the hands of Krishna. It is Krishna who judges. So I let it go. I did not let it bother me like that.
Before we finish, can I ask you one more question, one final question about your life now? So you live, I think you said you live at the ISKCON temple there. So what are your kind of what are your savers? What's your saver? What's your daily activities? Do you work for the temple or serve for the temple? What do you do on a daily basis?
Okay, before I used to work in the temple and then go to serve the guru. And after I took initiation, I saw the tax was too much because the whole work, 80% of the work is like it's on my head. So when it comes to the temple environment, before me and some one lady was doing this cleaning, and after I'll go to the guru house, and I realized it's a huge amount.
Seems to be a few connection issues there. I'm not sure if I think we're having a few connection issues. Smita Krishna Prabhu has frozen. I can't hear or see him. He seems to be just looking in one direction. One of the things that interests me about me presenting my own podcast is I often invite guests on the show that I know very little about. Of course, there was a bit of a vetting process before, but I've been quite overwhelmed actually by Smita's story. He's now left the room. We'll see if he comes back in. I've been quite overwhelmed by his story that he's sharing with us this week, particularly about his childhood. and the things he went through with his mother passing away, and the abuse he experienced from his father. I was aware that he was from a Muslim upbringing, that his grandfather was an imam, and people would visit his grandfather for different spells and different things, which I know very little about. But I wasn't aware that his mother had passed away, and that his father was beating him. I'm just going to wait and see if he comes back in the room. I'm conscious that we're kind of coming towards the end of our podcast now. I've been hugely, actually, I'm not sure what the right word is. It's not impressed, but quite touched by just how humble Smita Krishna Prabhu is. A lot of people who would have gone through what he's gone through in his life wouldn't be feeling super humble and super forgiving. They'd be feeling quite bitter and sad and angry. And he's a great example of someone who is surrendered, or who has surrendered to Krishna consciousness, to Krishna, and is now living a life that is much more, certainly much more sattvic than mine. And certainly he's a great example and a great lead. I'm just going to see if he comes back in the room. He is appearing on Facebook, so he's active. We'll see if he comes back in the room so he can answer that final question. While he's not here, just to remind you all, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Here he comes back in the room now. I'm impressed that we've got this far without that happening. He's coming back in the room. If you're watching this, there he is. Don't worry, I was talking whilst you were gone, so don't worry about it too much. You were just so I was impressed we got this far into the podcast without there being connection issues. It's been quite a fascinating podcast. So you were just talking a bit about your seva, that I think you were serving your guru, and you're not you are, but you're not anymore, something like that.
Yeah. I was running here and there, so I realized that no, I should focus on my guru side, and then leave the rest to the inside devotees, the devotees inside, so they can also be doing something.
Yeah.
So now I don't do anything, only my guru service. If my guru is around, I only serve my guru, unless he travel. Yeah.
That's great. And you live at the temple, in kind of temple property, and
Yes, please.
that's
From
great.
my room to the temple is about 5 minutes walking.
Wonderful, wonderful. And how big is the community there? How big is the congregation where you're staying in Ghana?
Yeah, very big. Many people.
Really?
Yeah.
You see, I don't know much about Krishna consciousness in Africa. I know a little bit. I mean, I've interviewed some guests before from South Africa, and I'm sure there's another African country, but I feel bad that I've forgotten. But in Ghana, for example, how many Hare Krishna temples are there in Ghana?
Yeah, in Ghana, I think all the regions in Ghana, there is ISKCON temple. Yeah.
So there are many ISKCON temples.
Yes, please.
Yeah. And at the temple that you live at, many people come to practice Krishna consciousness. And do you have any sannyasis living in Ghana?
Yeah. I think when it comes to sannyasis, it's my guru and one or two, three elderly people.
Okay. Okay. It's been wonderful to talk to you this week. It's been a fascinating interview. I've really appreciated how you've honestly shared your story. And you've told me many things I didn't know about you, because I don't know much about you. And I've been genuinely very touched, and actually felt quite emotional during this podcast about some of the things that you're sharing with us. And I certainly think that you can teach us all a lesson about forgiveness and about humility. And because a lot of people, that have experienced what you've experienced would be feeling angry or bitter or frustrated or sad. But you are a great example of someone who has forgiven and who is now trying to live a life of bhakti, of Krishna consciousness. And I feel very inspired by you.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you
Thank you.
being honest with us. And I hope that our viewers and listeners at home will also be inspired by Smita Krishna Prabhu's story, as well as his jumper. I keep saying I love his jumper, although it looks like stars or something.
Thank
so
you.
so what I'm going to do now, Prabhu, is I'm going to just say goodbye to the viewers at home, but you stay in the Zoom room, and we will have a little brief conversation after. So I'm really grateful to Smita Krishna Prabhu for being our guest on this week's podcast. He was guest number 128. We made it to 128 episodes, which is wonderful. Do not forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to hit the subscribe button so you can be kept updated about what we're doing here at the Hare Krishna Project. And if you're watching this on Facebook, to click the like or follow options so you can be kept updated about what we're doing there as well. Those are the two ways you can watch this podcast, Facebook or YouTube. And also, please send us some feedback. I love to receive feedback, and I always receive feedback after every episode. And I'm sorry that I'm sometimes quite slow to respond. I get so many messages from people all over the world. It's very difficult for me to keep up with the things that you want to know. I mean, I had an email yesterday out of the blue asking about veganism and Krishna consciousness. So I now need to spend time, which is a good thing because I'm always on the move. I now need to allocate time to sit down and write the response about veganism and Krishna consciousness. And often I get emails like that. People want to know what my views are, what Prabhupada taught about certain things. And so we're available here at the Hare Krishna Project. Just give us time to respond to a lot of the messages that come through. So I'm going to talk to Smita Krishna Prabhu after I've hit the stop button. But until next week, I'll see you all soon. Thank you. Hare Krishna and goodbye.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki Jai. Prabhupada Ki Jai.